In this video, I'm going to be discussing something of which I think every single person should think about and should ask themselves. Should I go to college? I think this is a question all high schoolers should have, and shouldn't just go with the flow. Shouldn't just go with, oh, everyone else is going to college, so I might as well, right? No. You should stop and you should think about it. For me personally, I never thought about going to college. Never thought about the question. It was always assumed. It was always assumed that I did. I went to a prep school, basically for college. I was like, okay, I'm going to a high school where literally the entire premise is to prepare you for college. So why would I not go to college? And so after going through 2 years of undergrad basically means that 2 years of college before graduation. Undergrad. That's where you get undergrad from. I think that if you're in high school and you're watching this video, you should listen to what I'm going to say to you, and if it resonates with you, you should make a decision to go or to not go to college. Because college can either be very useful or, honestly, a complete waste of time, in my opinion. And the thing is, I go to a good college. And the thing is, most colleges are not good. And if you aren't going to a good college, I would consider this even more. If you are going to a good college, I would consider this nonetheless. If going to college is in line with what you potentially want to do. And honestly, in high school, I didn't know what I was going to do, or what I even wanted to do. I didn't even think too much about that. And perhaps that is a sign that you should think about what it is that you want to do. And it's okay if you don't have any idea of what you want to do. But I really advise you against going to college, racking up debt when you don't even know what you want to do. That is a huge risk. You're putting yourself in so much debt for a potentiality that may not even be existent. It's different than going on a business, because you're doing a business, right? You have an idea of what you want to do. If you go to college without any idea of what you want to do, it's you're spending $60K to $100K in debt, and you still don't know and you don't even know what you're going to do, what you're going to study, and how that's going to impact your career, right? If you don't even know what you're going to do, truly, I implore you to stop, to honestly take a year off and think about what you want to do if you need to. But the important part is to not just go with the flow, right? And now I'm going to be going through arguments as to why you should not go to college. 1 second, my throat's freaking dry. So, going to college, what you study is really important, because there's a lot of worthless majors, and that's going to offend some people. But I don't care, because there are some worthless majors. For example, most humanities majors, you're in jack shit after, unless you become a professor. But even then, being a humanities professor doesn't pay that much. So choosing a major is really important for your future income and career. The second reason is colleges, at least in the US, are honestly not even the US, most Western countries, US, Canada, UK, are liberal, right? Because being liberal means you're open to new ideas, and colleges are areas where new ideas are constantly being explored. But the thing is with colleges being liberal is that you will be indoctrinated into the liberal mindset. And honestly, in this political space right now, as of this time, the hyper-liberalism, not even liberalism, but the hyper-left-leaningness of colleges is a lot. And honestly, I didn't really know that much about it until I learned about it. And it's okay, well, shit, I don't want this large institution to pump me full of ideas that are dangerous. And the thing is, that will happen to you if you aren't protected, if you can't think for yourself. Because for the most part, colleges are, or at least colleges right now they are forwarding this postmodernist ideology. And the thing is, if you know anything about ideologies, the postmodernist ideology is based off of Marxist ideologies. And, well, Marxism is bad because, well, it led to, communist China. It led to socialist Soviet Union. It led to a bunch of famines. It led to Pol Pot. It led to North Korea. In general, the Marxist doctrine is not exactly the best for human history, so far, at least. And, I get lots of people who criticize capitalism, capitalism having so many gaps in between populations, right? It's like you have the super rich and then you have the poor. It's like it's stratified. And I get that. But capitalism is the lesser evil of all evils. Capitalism is certainly better than socialism, certainly better than communism, certainly better than authoritarianism. Capitalism is the best option, the best realistic option that we have. Because, communism and socialism are really just dreams. They exist in fiction. They don't exist in reality, not as we want them to be. They're ideals that cannot be performed in reality. And that's why capitalism is the best structure for society. And that's why the West is so successful. Until perhaps recently now. But anyway, besides the ideological and political stuff, you will be indoctrinated by the college's values and ideals. That is something you need to consider. Because that's going to determine how you think, how you judge other people, how you conform to society, to certain parts of society, and that will determine your life, your family's life, and the country's life. And surprisingly, I didn't really think that was that big of a deal, but indoctrination is a big thing. Right? And colleges are a sweeping ground because there's a bunch of young people who are impressionable, and it's very easy to indoctrinate people. And especially in colleges, critical thinking is more and more becoming you should think this and not that. Critical thinking isn't you should question everything. Critical thinking at its basis is questioning things and seeing if they're true or not. Right? It's not blindly accepting facts. It's questioning and then analyzing. Of course, you can overdo questioning, right? You can just question everything. Is the Earth round? There's sufficient evidence from flat earthers. I'm just not gonna go, but there's a lack of critical thinking in universities, which is leading to a lot of polarization, is leading to a lot of groupthink, is leading just to a lot of just mindless droving. And if you want to be a independent person, a free thinker, you need to have critical thinking. And the thing is, a lot of universities aren't teaching that when they really should be. Instead, they're pushing ideologies. And that's really annoying. And of course, there's going to be universities that don't do this. There's going to be parts of universities that don't do this. Of course there are. Of course there are exceptions. But as a generality, you're going to be indoctrinated by your university. The third is that colleges are in reality money-making machines. Colleges fundamentally are an economic proposal. Students pay a shitload of money to come into the college. Just think about it. A public university, let's say, gets 10K new students per year. Let's say each student pays 15 grand per semester. That's 30 grand per year. Times 10,000 students. Can you even believe the amount of money that colleges get? It's unbelievable. Holy shit. It's why entire cities and towns form around colleges, because the colleges are so rich. There's so much money there. That is one thing you should know. Colleges are fundamentally a money-making machine. And certainly, like I've said before, if you aren't going to college to get a certain degree, to pursue a career that needs the higher education, don't put yourself in the debt. It's not worth it. And if you go to college and you get a worthless degree and then you just pursue something else completely, like, what was the point? What was the point? I mean, sure, you could say the point was, to experience the college life. I'm telling you, the college life is not that special. Right? You go to a couple parties in your first year and there's like, okay, it's like the same thing over and over again. It's not that special. Cheap beer, cheap liquor, vodka, free alcohol, drugs. It's not that special. It really isn't. You experience it once, twice, thrice. It's the same thing over and over again. Leading into that is college culture. Right? The college culture in the Western society is degenerate. Drinking, drugs, sex, hookup culture. It is degenerate. And I think it's only going to get worse if things are continuing their trend. Specifically, I think they're going to get worse in terms of hookup culture. Because more and more women are going to college in comparison to men. Men, in general, are not going to college anymore. And perhaps that's a good thing, Perhaps all of them are just being entrepreneurs. But I don't think so. I don't see an entire, boom in the industry of entrepreneurs. I don't see that happening. Rather, what I think is happening is that men are refusing to go to college and instead taking up jobs. Just, I don't want to say menial jobs, but construction jobs, Jobs that don't require a college degree. And so what that's leading into is an increased woman to man ratio in college. And whenever there are more women than men in a society, that society tends to be more promiscuous because there's more intrasexual competition between women. For every man, there's going to be more women competing for that man. Right? Simple math. And therefore, to get an edge on other women are going to be more promiscuous. Right? This is kind of basic evolution psychology. Right? So that will happen, and colleges will get more degenerate. But, that's just my ideas. Perhaps it will come to be, perhaps it won't. Another reason is that if you're going to get higher education, you're going to get a middle-class job. Right? If your goal is to become upper class, upper echelon, you won't get there with a college degree. At least you won't get there solely because of college. You get there with a college degree plus other things that you don't learn in college. You don't truly learn business in college. You learn a lot of math. You don't learn a lot of business. And you can literally just ask yourself, do you want to learn from a professor of business who doesn't have an actual business and is successful with business? Does that even make sense to you? You're learning from someone about a topic that they aren't even successful about. That just sounds stupid and completely idiotic. Why would you do that? And the thing is, if you're not going to a good college, most business professors are like that. Most business professors are people who failed business, essentially, and literally only know theory. They don't have real application, real life experience of creating businesses, of sustaining businesses, of building empires. They don't have that. So why should you listen to them? If you want to do business, do business. Don't go to college to learn the theories of business. Actually do business. Get in the weeds. Get an internship in a business company. Cold call people. Do sales. Honestly, go to retail. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in retail. Because what you do in retail is basically you're selling products to a customer. The good retail stores will do that. The bad ones will not. The mediocre ones will also not. But the best retail stores, they will sell you products. And so if you go to a retail store, you can learn how to sell people things. And that is one of the most crucial skills that you can learn. And so the biggest reason to not go to college is if you aren't learning a trade from college, from higher education, say you need to go to college to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, if you want to pursue those avenues, go to college. If you don't, if you are pursuing a career that doesn't require college, why go to college? That just doesn't seem very smart, you know. Like, if you're doing something that doesn't require you to go to college, why would you do it? So if you're pursuing a career that doesn't require college, don't go to college. So I've spoken a lot about why you should not go to college, right? Now let's flip the scales, right? Like, why should you go to college? A surprising reason is that you can go to college for a mate. It's like, personally, I didn't think of it that way, but like, surprisingly, it's kind of true. Like, probably one of the biggest like shadow reasons is going to college for a mate, for a girlfriend, for a wife, potentially, for a boyfriend, you know. For one, it's the time when you will be with the most amount of people. You know, unless you move to like a really dense population city, college will be one of the few times in your life where you'll be surrounded by lots and lots of people of the same age, of relative the same experience as well, you know. And therefore you have the greatest chances of getting a mate, getting a girlfriend, getting a boyfriend. Second reason is for a specific career. Like I've said, you know, you want to go to medicine, you want to do law, engineering, you want to teach. That requires higher education, so you need to go to college, essentially. If you're that so, just go to college, you know. And I would say you should go to college so that you can get higher education, so that you can think critically. But a lot of colleges don't even teach that anymore, and that's super sad. So I can't, like, if colleges were still teaching you how to think properly, I would say go to college, because, you know, you need to learn how to think. Otherwise, you'll always be a slave. You'll always be a follower. You'll always be a sheep. Colleges right now, I'm not so sure that they'll actually teach you critical thinking. And so I've outlined a lot of like negative things about college, and you can probably presume I have a sort of negative view on college, which I do. But my fundamental request to you is to think about college. Like, is this what you truly want to do? You may not have all the facts right now, but as of right now, as of what you know right now, is college something you want to do? Will it benefit you? Are the costs worth the gain? You want to think and reflect on this, because, you know, if you decide that college is what you want to do, and if you have a plan, you will be ahead of everyone else. Right? Like, most people who go to college nowadays go to college because it's what everyone else does. You know, they go to college and they know nothing. And that was me. And I wish I thought about this, and I wish I thought about the plan ahead. But I didn't. And so now I'm telling you to do so. To not do what I have done, what thousands of people have done. To think things through and develop a plan for yourself. And so if you do plan on going to college, I'd recommend reading the short little book, How to Win at College, I think, by Cal Newport. There's lots of tips and tricks, not really tips, but like things you probably should do in college to be the best college student you can be. And it was very helpful, and I kind of also wish that I did read it before going to college, you know. If you're going to college, read the book, and also develop a plan for yourself. If you think that college is not worth it, you know, you are someone who wants to be upper class. You know, you want to do entrepreneurial things. You want to do business. Don't go to college. Do your business instead. So in the end, I would say that college is best for getting to middle class. College cannot allow you to get into upper class. Getting to upper class is by using your own education. It's by reading books, by learning from those who have done it before. It's not from college. Right? You want to do business, you do sales, you intern, you shadow from someone who's doing a business right now. You don't go to college. You want to do a specific career? Go to college. So all I ask of you is that you think through this. You think through a decision that could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Think through that, and then decide if it's what you really want, and if it will help you. But otherwise, I will see you later.